Hey girls, it's Jenny with Planner Perfect, and in today's video, my week in review. Stay tuned. Okay girls, this is a good one, and because of the fact that every time you go and kind of do some introspection, you can really get some good golden nuggets of things that you know that you need to change so that you can create some movement. You know how sometimes we can stay stagnant and things just aren't working. We love to kind of just sit and complain a little bit about it. The good thing and the thing that's advantageous of being able to look back at your week is really being able to see if there's like a pattern that's kind of developing that's just not working. So I'm going to share with you 3 different things that have been kind of creeping up on me, that have kind of been going on, and then how I'm going to make those changes. I want to share those 3 with you here before I kind of flip you around and show you my pages, because the pages are kind of irrelevant to kind of what I'm saying here. But at the same time, I want to be able to also share with you some of my pages and where I had those things down and how I want to create that change. So one of the things that I wanted to change, and you might find this funny, is that you definitely don't want to control other people, okay? Now I am a huge, I know this already, but this time, I really feel that I kind of been bombing it in the way that I've really been kind of planning out the grandbabies and such, in a way where they're throwing a wrench in my plans every single time. So I decided that instead of making it like such an intention of where I've got like, okay, we're gonna do this, I decided to make it more of an idea list of things I want to do with them. And if it happens, that's awesome. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So one of the things that I did, and that was kind of the deal breaker for me, was when I bought them tickets to see Santa, and Waylon was kind of grumpy that day, and Wesley fell asleep, and I couldn't get refunded. And I was like, I think I don't want to do this anymore. I think I want to create a more, a day where it's got ideas listed, and if the day is kind of going in that direction, then we can execute those plans. So I know for me, my mom, this is a funny story about planning, is that I remember my mom for Anna's birthday, just as of late, she said, hey, listen, I've got everyone's seating arrangement planned at the restaurant. I'm like, is that really gonna work? And she's like, oh yes, it'll work. So I'm gonna need you to help back me up. And I was like, Mom. And so when we got there, not one person followed through with her seating arrangement. And so case in point, plan yourself, plan it solid. And even if you're going to incorporate something like with your husband or a friend, have a plan B. Another thing is that I'm just finally giving myself the ease of not doing dinners that are too difficult when I have my grandbabies. So for those of you who don't know, I have my grandbabies 3 days a week, like all day. And on those days, for some reason, I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna make a roasted chicken with broccoli and potatoes, and it never works. And I always was, and I think what was in my mind, I was like, Jenny, why do you keep doing this? It's not working. And I think for me, it was like, well, why isn't it working? Because you have 8 kids and you've always cooked like this with small children. Why can't you do this? And I had to go through that talk with myself. And you know what I said? I was like, Jenny, these children, as much as you think those grandbabies, as much as they are yours, they are your daughters. And as well, I like to say as well, because I really do feel like they're my babies. Okay, I do. I love them. But it's that you pick them up and you drive and you take them home. And it's not like I'm nursing my babies. With my own babies, I had that ebb and flow. It's just not the same. And I literally take babies home at dinner time 2 days out of the 3. And that's why. So anyway, I've just decided those are the days I'm doing easy. Like gourmet sandwiches, I can do that. Paninis, buttered noodles, things like that. Brats, something that's just super easy that I can cook up and have that my family can eat up, but it's not going to be anything that's huge. It's going to be even less fare than a typical, weeknight easy. It's like super easy. And that way also my cleanup is good and all of that. And on the other days, that's when I can really just go all out and have fun in the kitchen and create delicious meals on those other days that I do not have them. So that's also been such a revelation to me. It's been a load off my shoulders and it's been phenomenal. So instead of like dropping the ball and not having that gourmet dinner, it was like nothing at all and catch as catch can. And it was kind of, bleh, it was horrible. And so I was feeling that stress, and my husband's like, well, should I get like a frozen pizza? I'm like, you know what? You probably should. And so I was like, I've got to tweak this. I've got to tweak this. I've got to tweak this. And so that was like me not having a solid plan. And it was me feeling frustrated and acting like, but not fixing it. So I had to figure out what was behind me doing that. And of course, I always love a challenge. And so I'm always challenging myself, like, oh, you can do this, you can do this. And I had to find out what was behind that nonsense, and I figured it out. So once I was able to figure that out, I can make the changes. So really, and when it happens to anything in your life and your planning life, if there's something that's going on that you're habitually not doing, change it. And if any of you have seen one of my other plan with me's or plan with in reviews, actually, me going on the treadmill daily, I had to drop. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I get 10,000 steps a day. So since I'm not sedentary, I'm going to drop that pressure for right now. So it was something like, okay, for right now, I'm going to drop it. Since I'm not sedentary, I'm okay with it. And then I just, it's been a lifesaver. So just do the evaluation of your life, see what's kind of being habitually not working, and make sure you figure out why. So that way your mind can process it all fully, and now you can get over that hump and do something that works. Okay, so my one and other final assessment of an introspection is that I always noticed that I was honestly shooting for the moon and landing sub-zero on certain things. Now, I am a big, supporter of shooting for the moon and landing in the stars. But you got to take notice that if you shoot for the moon and you're not landing anywhere near the stars, that it takes a better look and reevaluation of exactly what's going on. So for me, I need to account for rest days. I'm really ambitious, and that can have its faults. Okay, so one of the things that I was doing is like the day after Thanksgiving, which really was, and if any of you saw any other video I did where I was talking about how I was busting a butt from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., 9 p.m., cooking and cleaning all day, and how I'm going to be making changes with that when it came to any kind of day where I was really busy, the next day I was like, okay, so that day's over with. This day, I'm going to do this, and I was just super excited about it, and I didn't account for the fact that maybe I would need to rest after that. So I was failing miserably on the next day, and not failing, I was just scripting something. The intention couldn't even be that, because I needed to account for what really needed to happen. And so after assessing that, I was like, this is so true. So if I have bigger days, I need to account for a day where I'm chill. So I need to account for chill days. And I know you do too. So if you're not accounting for that, and if you're seeing that sometimes you're after some busy days, and then, you've got that day where it's just you're not doing anything, you need to account for the fact that you need to have a chill day. And so that's been something that I'm sticking to it for sure. And it's been nothing but a godsend, because then if I give myself that day permission to rest, and even if it's a jammy all day, then the next day I can get those things done, if not even greater than if I would have pushed myself to do it anyways. So I would even have to say, for me, other than the fact that I had planned myself too much for the day after Thanksgiving even, but also I do it every time. Even when I have all my grandbabies, I have them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so on Fridays, I get really ambitious. And I think it's kind of like, well, I just can't wait to like go after some stuff. And I really got to chill. I have to say, okay, you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. Let's try 7. Just have a chill day. Kind of rest with your boys for a little bit. Do some fun things with them for a little bit instead of acting like you got to get up early and go. Get your feet down and just start hustling. I feel like I need to chill after on a Friday. Okay, so those are the things that were my takeaways that have been really big blessings. One other thing I want to share is that the one thing that I have incorporated, and I am never going to go back, and I did a YouTube video on this as well, and it was about say what you mean and mean what you say. And the reason why you really want to do this is because you want yourself to believe yourself. So when you say something, you want yourself to believe it, because if you believe it and you believe in what you say, then you'll be more successful at everything you say you're going to do. So if you've kind of made yourself out to be a liar to yourself, then everything that you say is really not believable. It's kind of just like hit or miss. It doesn't matter. So you're just not saying any of these believable words. So one of the things that I did was, if I'm going to commit to this, which also makes me more intentional about what I say yes to, is that once I do say yes and I commit to something, then I go and I do it. And that was one of the things that has been super beneficial for me. And me and my sister actually hold each other accountable to this. And I remember one time it was the day and it was before my Bible study. And it could be something as amazing as a Bible study. And I had to talk this out with my sister. I was like, I don't feel like going. I don't want to go. I want to sit on the couch and I want to do nothing. And I've already read Ephesians. Okay, I'm fine. And she's like, Jenny, you said you were going to go. Remember, you had committed to this. And you just need to go. And I was like, you're right. I'm going. And when I got there and was with my girls and we were praying and laughing, it was one of the best days of my life. Mean what you say and say what you mean. It is always going to be nothing but a success for you. So be careful with what you commit to, because you should say what you mean and mean what you say. So those things are some big, huge takeaways from our planning lives, because with Planner Perfect, I know for me and my method, it's definitely a life planner. It's a woman who's living on purpose and intention. And when you are planning your days, you're moving the needle. You are growing spiritually, and you are renewing your mind, and you are growing as a person, and you're reaching goals, and you're being successful, and you're dreaming big, and you're following those dreams one page at a time. So all of these things really, really matter, and introspection on your weeks are important. So make sure that you do that, because I feel that you really will get a great takeaway, and the introspection grows you. Honestly, I know that you can extract the takeaways from this for how it applies to you. Don't plan for other people. The things are not getting done and they're not too hard and they're just not getting done. It's time to reevaluate and to change it. And also then to give yourself a chill day. Allow yourself a chill day. And let yourself recoup and reflect. And those days are just as important. And I know I've been a big supporter of those times, and I am also guilty of not even adhering to it. And that is the price to pay, is that you've got this confliction where, but I said intentions. Now my whole week is messed up. It's kind of like, if it's happening all the time, then you're not listening to yourself and your body. You're not caring for yourself enough. You need to stop. You need to slow down. You need to see what you're doing and change things around and plan accordingly. So these kind of takeaways, I really hope that it's blessed you and it's helped you. I am going to flip you around and kind of a look at my pages. And then next week, I can't wait to show you how I've made those changes and how it's also worked for me. So I've already kind of made some changes and have had a week successful of it. But I want to show that to you next week when I do my pages. So let me turn you around and show you what I got. Okay, guys, I am actually in this new, it's poppy, but it's not. It's brighter than poppy, and this will be available very soon. It'll actually be available in our totes that are coming first. So be looking out for this. More information on this is of course coming. So yeah. So this is my setup. As you can see, I'm not going to do a silent one. So let me go ahead and kind of show you my pages for the week, how I've created the change. And I actually even used my tip in here. So when I was noticing that things weren't working, I would just kind of write out those changes that I wanted to make. And believe me, just writing it out made it really set in stone. So here's my week as of this week. And I did make some changes and some I didn't, because those kind of things kind of became gradual, where I was like, okay, this week I'm not going to do that. And then the next week in December, I was like, okay, I don't want to do that. And then for this, so that's why some I did make changes with, and then some I didn't. So for this, it's just, here are my pages. I really kind of did a nice simple layout, which is also very nice. Now here's where I implemented the idea list. So instead of getting like real specific and putting my kids and grandkids in a box, and then like, the day didn't work, you know, I really want my planner to work for me. And so if some of my pages don't work, I'm still cool with it, and I just move it over to the other side, or I move it. But if something is becoming a constant, it's very repetitive, and it's happening all the time, then it's time to look at it and see why, so you can make changes. Because obviously you want your planner to work for you, and you want it to be a tool that can inspire you, to change you, and to help you grow and move and go towards your goals. So that was one of the things that I noticed. So I had put all this in my idea list, and guess what? All of it got done. And I don't know if it just like it took the pressure off. I have no idea. But when I didn't put them in a box, it worked. So I had my idea list of what I wanted to do. And this was the day that I had the babies from 10 to 7. And that doesn't account for when I grab them and take them home. So I get them at like 9. I leave at 9:15 and I get home at 8 when I drop them off. So it's quite a day, to say the least. And see, this is one of the things where I didn't do the dinner idea yet. I hadn't come to my senses. So here's when I said, you know, do pot pie, you know, homemade. And of course, everyone ate, you know, like I said before, catch as catch can. It was like they were eating whatever. Like, it was horrid. Anyway, not anymore, girls, not anymore. So this was something, again, where I implemented the ideas. And here I got smart already. I was like, sandwiches. So, and everyone had really nice sandwiches that I had foods. I had bread from Whole Foods. I had lunch meat and cold cuts from Whole Foods. I felt good about all of it. And they absolutely enjoyed it. It was delicious, and it was easy, an easy cleanup. I even did paper plates. So, and this again was easy and fun. This was my yesterday. I got lots done, like all of it. So that was great. And here, now let me just say to you this. This is a Friday. And it's funny how this drops off, because the day before, now this is when I didn't have them, the babies, and it was full. Everything was full. These days were loaded, and watching grandbabies like this, and their ages is 1.5 up to 4, and then of course I've got my own sons, and it's like it's you know, it's a lot of energy. And so here I got up early though, and I did gangbusters, and I didn't do a chill. So I literally then could feel me dwindling really early. And so I'd have to say around 4, I mean, I was already getting in my jammies, and then I just used that chill time for the rest of the night, and I didn't even do pizza. So the thing is, though, is that, you know what we did? Crackers, and my husband got frozen pizza. I am telling you, this is just the real deal. And the reason here, see, and I looked back on this, and it's like, you know why this flopped? Because I didn't account for me just to chill. Now, if I would have chilled, relaxed, drank coffee, and read my Bible all day, and maybe did a load of laundry, I would have made homemade pizza. If that's the only thing I got going on that day, aside from Jesus and coffee, yeah, easy. So that's what I mean. this is what I see, that trend, and this is what's been happening is that, and you know, I'm like, why? Like, why though? Why do I peter out? What's happening? Because I can have very successful weeks and days, and then, but this is what I was kind of bumping up against all the time. Is like, this is why, because I feel like I should be busy when I don't have to be. I can have a day where I'm not. For crying out loud, Jenny. So I'm changing that. So today, so in other words, I did get my chill on, and it wasn't as satisfying though, as if I would have just allowed myself that for the day. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here. It felt more like a fail rather than an intention, a purposeful thing that I did. You see what I mean? That's where it kind of gets like, this is why this introspection is perfect. And so instead of like always just fighting feelings of, well, I felt like this, oh, I shouldn't feel like that way about myself. The correct way to go about this is, number one, you're never a failure. All of these things are always something for me that can help me grow. So when things don't go wrong, it's just something to help propel me. So, you know, number one, instead of combating those kind of feelings and having this inner dialogue with yourself that is doing you no good, just look at why something's not working, and then either use it as like, it's just something that usually never happens, I'm gonna let it go, to, well, you know what, this is kind of happening, why? And then you make the changes. Because then when you make the changes that reflect where you are truly not only serving others, but caring for yourself, going towards your goals, and everything is really purposeful, then everything just feels so good and feels full of purpose. Because then if I would have designed my day around what my heart says that I need to do, then me not having everything here kind of like, you know, these chapters in the Bible I want to read, get my good coffee, take a shower, start laundry, chill on the couch, watch a movie with my sons, get my bread, you know, my pizza dough rising. This really would have been a very, very successful day. And it was not filled with anything that was in terms of what the world might think of as getting her done. This was very much so feeding the soul, and it would have been absolutely perfect. So I look at this as like success. This was a success because to me, it taught me something, and you can't replace that with anything. So this is everything to me that I really was able to extract the goodness out of that. So this is today. This is my weekend, actually. And so I'm going to be with my daughter today. We're going to do some fun things. And I'm actually really making sure that I am not overdoing it even on this day. And I still today will be going over my Sunday. And then again, I'm going to also tonight and tomorrow prep my pages and get ready for next week. And so I can't wait to really show you how all of those nuggets of gold and wisdom and God downloads of just, you know, being able to extract some great things and to really grow in that area of my life, so that I can have it show and reflect on my planner pages. And that's ultimately what you want to do. So always remember that if you bump up some obstacles all the time, and they're all the time, those obstacles are just trying to tell you something. So take heed, make some changes, and live that full life of intention. So there you go, girls. Thanks for watching, you guys. And until next time.